Alright, you're back with Al. This is Chronicles of a Not Yet Champion Golfer. I'm doing a bit of chipping, so this is one that I got from the Biff that's up there. He's on the range up there, hitting balls. Oh. What are you doing? This is like that mental training, like concentration training. Really good chipping practice is for getting a perception of seeing a ball flight, knowing how it's going to react, different distances, different sort of controls on the spin. So just to explain, I've got 5 stations. That one's 2 yards off the green, which is an 11-yard chip. 2 yards back, another 2 balls, 2 yards back, another 2 balls, 2 yards back, another 2 balls, and 2 yards back, another 2 balls. First chip is an 11-yard chip. And 13 yard, 15 yard, how's your maths? 17 yard, 19 yard. So we're looking at that first chip is pretty straightforward. You know, there's only 2 yards of fringe, 9 yards of green. You're starting adding loft as you're getting further back each shot, creating a little bit of a softer ball flight, getting it to stop a little bit quicker because you've not got as much green in relation to the actual distance. He's just hit a ball from up there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Grow up. This is what I have to deal with. What was I saying then? Oh yeah, it's an 11-yard chip, first one, 9 yards of green. So obviously, you know, there's not much fringe to carry, whereas the last chip is 19-yard chip, but you know, I've got 10 yards to carry to get on the green, only 9 yards, so there's more time in the air than there is actually running. First one's going to have more time running than it is in the air. So it works it back, it sort of gets you a feeling for how you start seeing the ball flight, how you start adding loft and how that affects the chip, and it's just really good for perception, how you start to see chips and how they've got a flight, and just try and get them as close as you can, basically. First chip, just looking to bump it on the green, let it release, put a little bit back in my stance, just see that shot being simple as it can be really, pretty square face, just hit it with the true loft that's on the club. Simple really, just low, bump it on, spending more time running than it is actually in the air. He's hitting balls at me again now. Next chip. Again, this one we've got 9 yards. 9 yards on the green, 4 yards back, so again it's going to spend most of the time on the ground. I'm going to try and play it a little bit higher. Little bit softer. Okay, third one back. 6 yards. 6 yards off the edge of the green. We've got 9 yards, so still there's more green than we need. Still, this shot's pretty simple, but it gets tougher as it moves back. Adding loft every time, just that little bit of loft added on. Seeing what difference that makes. Little nudge helped me on the other ball then. The flight's not changing much, to be honest. Basically I'm getting a little bit more loft, putting a little bit more speed in. It's coming off pretty, well, similar flight, but just spinning a little bit more. Flight's a little bit softer and it's spinning a little bit more when it's landing. The more loft I'm adding, but just keep on, well, you've got to remain aggressive through the shot. Not aggressive the way I'm aggressive sometimes. So we're 8 yards off the green now. 9 yards on, so still, wow, that looks, no, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 8 yards. Much more than that, to be honest. So it's pretty much got to carry it half the way, but I'm going to carry it further than that because I'm adding a loft again. Pretty much all these chips are landing in more or less the same place, but just adding loft each time. How many times do you want to say adding loft? Bit hard that, innit? So I keep getting confused here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, we're 10 yards off the green, 9 yards of green, so 19-yard pitch, a little bit higher and softer, floaty flight. More loft. and hit it miles right. Not miles, that's quite nice, but to be honest, they're not bad chips, 5 decent chips. But you're working your way up, so then you're going back. We're gonna, I can't remember what he said, what the point of this next. Paul! We're just gonna call him down. But you can see how you're trying to land it pretty much in the same spot all the time. Different flights, different trajectories, training yourself all the time of how a shot looks and how you can perceive what type of shot you're gonna play, how adding loft makes a difference to the flight, all that sort of stuff. And you know, it's
brakes don't work.
That's not working because I need the balls.
Oh.
Can you move?
Broke.
Just put it in gear and go, get out of the way. Right. So I was just saying how you showed me this little exercise. Now, my perception with it is that you're working your way back, trying to land it in pretty much the same spot every time.
Exactly that.
Oh,
so as you work away from it, you're incrementally adding more and more loft. You're trying to slow the pace of the ball down onto the green so that you are always landing it in and around the same area, but your perception changes because of how far away you are. So basically for the first one, we're only being 2 yards off the green. You've got 2 yards and then 7 yards or 8 yards of green to work with. When you come back here, you've got 15 yards, but only 7 yards green. So you've got more green, more distance away than green to work with. So you've got to change things. So then as you work your way back in, then you're changing the loft again and going back the other way. So it's being able to add loft, take speed off, and then bring it back in the other way as you work back in. And that's me being serious for a minute.
Oh, shanked it.
Right, all that's showing is how hard it is then to take the loft back off it.
Just shanked it.
Yeah, no, but that's the whole point of it. You've got to be able to go one way and then the other.
You'd think that'd be quite easy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's really difficult though, and that's the whole point of it. Because you've got to take it back off and then you're trying to just rely on the pace of the ball and not elevation as well. Because you're adding loft and taking the pace off as you come back. But as you come back again, you're putting the loft back on, but then trying to change the pace again.
The more I duff it, the closer I'm getting. So it's training you all the time to be able to control the club face in relation to a ball flight.
Exactly that.
If you don't shank it though. So that's it, just a really simple practice routine. Working your way back from square face to it being most open. Just training yourself all the time to learn how the loft affects the shot, how hard you've got to hit it, how you've got to take almost longer swing and take a bit of pace off to create that softer ball flight to get it to land softer on the green. Whereas the other one, the straight faced one, there's quite a bit of speed in the shot, checks up a lot more, just a completely different trajectory. It's something that I don't really do enough of, controlling the loft, controlling the spin and the trajectory. I can hit simple, straightforward chips pretty good, I think, but as soon as I get that one where I've got to open it up slightly, I lose that little bit of control and probably that little bit of confidence as well. This just gives you that perception, you know, if you can control the loft well, you know you're faced with a shot, you can be confident, you can stand there, you know you're not going to duff it in front of your feet. Although you can double hit it now. You can double hit it now, and it counts, doesn't it? Like, it's just as a single shot. You can double hit it. Let's see, hold on. See, this just counts as one shot. It's hard to... Trying to double hit it. It's hard to double hit it. I'm trying to do it. I used to do it for fun by accident, but now that's not such a good practice routine. Don't do that. Let me get this tripod out. Get off, tripod. So, get off. So yeah, simple practice routine. This is my last video I'll be filming in Tenerife for a while, unfortunately. Thank you very much for watching. See you next Tuesday. You can go now, thanks.
Okay, bye.